Wondering why a girl you just met or even someone you've been dating for a while is not responding to your messages? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the common reasons why you may be getting left unread. What's up, guys? I'm Kent Marcus, a dating and relationship coach, helping men become the best versions of themselves so they can attract the type of high-quality partner they've always wanted. If you haven't already and you like my content, make sure to click that subscribe button and click on the bell notification so you can be alerted when I have any new content coming out. And with that being said, let's get started. All right, guys, so one of the common reasons why she may not be responding to your messages is that your messages are boring. So, for example, if this is a girl you just met and she's really attractive, you got to understand that she's got a lot of options. And so if your default is just to send messages like, hey, or what's up, you're acting like 99% of the other guys who are messaging her. And the problem with that is that you're being boring and predictable, you aren't engaging her emotions at all, and you're expecting her to do all the work. And none of those things are going to make her want to respond. But on the other hand, if you are engaging her emotions in a positive way, she's going to associate that positivity with you and be a lot more likely to respond. And so you may be asking me, well, Kent, how do I engage her emotions? Well, it doesn't have to be that difficult. It could be as simple as piggybacking off of a previous conversation that you guys had on a dating app or even in person. So for example, when I used to be on dating apps, I had a picture of me wearing traditional German attire while I was visiting my family over there. And that would often be a conversation topic brought up by the girls that I matched with. And so if I did end up getting their numbers, I may have messaged them something like, hey, it's Kent, your favorite lederhosen wearing Bumble match, with like a winky face or a smirk face at the end. Nothing super complicated, right? But it's playful, it's flirtatious, and it gives her and I something to work with, which is much better than if I just said, hey, it's Kent, and expect her to do all the work moving forward from there. Another reason why she may not be responding to your messages is because you're coming across as needy or desperate. So a perfect example of that would be if you're double, triple, or God forbid, quadruple texting women. So if you're sending a message and she's not responding, so then you send another message and then you don't get a response to that one, so you send another message, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. However, there's also more subtle ways that you can be displaying neediness and desperation and not even be aware of it. One of those ways is if you always take less time than she does to respond. So for example, if she always takes hours to get back to you and you're responding within minutes or even seconds, you're sub-communicating to her that you have nothing else better going on with your day and that you're a lot more invested than she is. Another example could be if your messages are a lot longer than hers. So if she's responding with maybe a few words or sentences and you're sending these paragraph responses back to her, again, that's going to show a lot more emotional investment and potential desperation on your end. And lastly, it could be as subtle as sending a lot more emojis than her or exclamation points. Again, that's going to show more emotional investment, and as a man, you shouldn't be sending that many anyway. So the important thing to take out here is to mirror her. Mirror her effort and energy and make sure that you're not giving too much if she isn't returning. So if you can relate to any of the things that I just said and you find yourself doing those things, it's time to cut it out. The third reason why she may not be responding to your messages is you're not making your move. So if you're one of those guys who's been texting a girl for days, weeks, or even months on end, it's time to put on your big boy pants and ask her out on a date. Because if this girl is really interested in you, she wants you to take that initiative and ask her out. And so if you don't strike while the iron is hot, eventually she's going to think that either you're not into her or that you don't have the courage to ask her out, both of which are going to cause her to eventually pull away and give up. And on top of that, if you're trying to get to know this girl over text, she's eventually going to lose anticipation and interest in seeing you because she already knows everything about you and you're treating her like a friend. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to ask her out on the first message or that you can't have a few messages back and forth. But getting her to meet you out should always be your primary goal, and so you should always be leading in that direction. The fourth reason why she may not be responding to your messages is you're not her type. So I hate to break it to you guys, but just because a girl gives you her number doesn't automatically mean she's into you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys out there who don't take no for an answer. And so when they try and ask for the number and the girl has said, sorry, I'm not interested, they take it personally and might say something like, what, am I not good enough for you? And then the whole conversation is extremely awkward and tense. And so in order to avoid that tense and awkwardness, understandably so, girls have started giving out their numbers to guys that they're not interested in the hopes that when the guy does reach out to them, they don't respond and the guy gets the hint. So just because a girl gives you her number does not automatically mean she's into you. And the final reason why she may not be responding to your messages is you're not the only one. So as I've said before, guys, if you're in the dating pool and you just start dating this girl, she's likely dating other guys as well. And so maybe she really hit it off with one guy and things are starting to get serious. Or maybe an ex-boyfriend is back in the picture. And if it is an ex-boyfriend, she's going to be a lot more emotionally attached to him than to you. And so the important takeaway from this is you may not be doing anything wrong. Your game may be tight and you may be a really good looking dude, but because of external factors that are completely out of your control, she's pulling away and not responding to your messages. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Well, regardless of the reason why she isn't responding to your messages, the answer to that is simple, and that is to completely back away on your end. So no more contacting her via text or phone calls, liking any of her social media, nothing. And the reason why I say that is if you continue to pursue her, you're going to be displaying a lot of neediness, insecurity, and desperation, all of which are extremely unattractive to women and people in general. Whereas on the other hand, if you completely back away, you're displaying strength, emotional fortitude, that you value yourself and you're not going to force someone to be in your life, and that you have other potential options. And if she is interested in you, she will eventually reach out. And if she doesn't, well, then you have your answer and on to the next one. All right, guys, well, that's the video for today. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and like the video. And if you want one-on-one personal coaching with me, where we could talk about your situation and how to get you on the right path, well, then check the description box where you'll find my email. Shoot me an email and we can get you situated. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.